Yo, yo, yo. What is up, everybody? What's up, what's up, what's up? Can y'all hear me all right? Video, sound all right? Sorry, I'm a few minutes late here. I feel like we're okay audio-wise. All right. Cool. So let's get into it. We got a bunch of people here watching, which is awesome. So welcome back to another Ethereum and Chill live stream with Trader Main. This live stream sponsored by Prime XBT. Make sure to show them some love. Link in the description. Use the link to sign up. Really helps me out. Main 50 code for 50% deposit bonus. You get 50% of whatever you deposit added to your margin balance, so you can just trade way bigger size, max leverage, right? Because that's what you should be doing. Obviously kidding. Everything in this video, you guys know this already, does not constitute financial advice. Always do your own research. This shit's risky as fuck, and I'm just some big neck metal bird guy off the internet that you don't actually know. So make sure you're being safe. We obviously are seeing some crazy volatility in the market, so I'm super excited to kind of go over the charts, kind of talk about the levels that I'm watching, the levels that I'm interested in, and then we can just kind of go from there. The last video had an amazing response. The video I uploaded, I believe, was on Friday or Saturday, so super grateful. I got so many awesome comments about that, just kind of sharing some of the mental struggles that come with, trading, especially in this space. So I'm glad you guys like that. I got more stuff like that on the way, absolutely. And the last Ethereum and Chill video, we knocked it out of the park. I think it had like 6,000 views, which is absolutely mind-blowing that many people would watch me just talk about a chart for 2 hours, but here we are. So really excited about today. We've got, who do we got in the chat here? We got the homeboy, Danny Less. We've got Trader SZ, the bear god. I think you guys all need to downvote him because he's trying to fucking make us dump sub 30. We do not want that. We've got Johannes here who's waiting for us to get started. I'm sorry for keeping you up. He doesn't have all... Johan, I'm sorry. I didn't realize he didn't have all the time in the world. I'll get started more promptly next time on your behalf. We got the main, the myth, the legend, Joe Zabia. What's up, man? Immortality, what's up, bro? Yeah, we're just living in Johannes's world, man. He doesn't have a lot of time to watch this stream, so we got to get going. We got the homeboy Omri. What's up, dog? We got Steven. What's up? What's up? Okay, cool. So, really excited. Let's get going here. Nice girthy neck. Thanks, Soph. So what we're going to cover today is the standard stuff, right? We're going to cover Bitcoin. We're going to cover Ethereum. We're going to cover Ethereum BTC. And then we're also going to look at a bunch of fucking altcoins because altcoins have been going absolutely bonkers. This stream has evolved beyond Ethereum and Chill to just going through charts and chilling. But I love the name, so I'm going to keep it. But we obviously talk a lot more about everything than as opposed to just Ethereum. But I'm really excited for this video. So with that being said, let's get to it. I'm going to go through all the charts that you see here. So these are all coins that I've either currently have positions in, I'm actively trading, or I'm looking to get positioned in. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, those are the standard. We've got SNX, I believe it's synthetic. Yeah, synthetic network. We've got AVE, we've got Cardano, we've got GERT. Everyone knows I love GERT. We've got Curve, we've got Link, we've got DOT, we've got BNB, we've got OMG, we've got Waves, we've got a bunch of stuff to go through. So I'm going to do as many of these as I can, and then if I have time, I will take all the chart requests in the chat if I can. So yeah, please leave a like on the video. Helps me out a lot. You know, we want to take over this YouTube game, man. We got BitBoy Crypto out here straight off ripping people off. That rotund son of a bitch looks like Jabba the Hutt. So I think that we make a petition here to replace BitBoy with, you know, Mane of Neck. I think that would be way better because that guy is so cringe. It's unbelievable, and he's got 250,000 followers. So I'm already 1% of the way there. So we're basically there. So let's get into it. We got Bitcoin here, kind of at a very indecisive point in the market. So I'll kind of talk about my bearish and bullish thesis because trading is an if-then basis, right? If this happens, then we do that. If that happens, then we do this. So I want to be bullish. I'm leaning towards us actually being in quite a large range here. But I want us to go up, obviously. We all want to go up. Everyone wants us to go higher. But there is some value in it potentially going sideways, potentially even having some weakness in terms of Bitcoin dropping, the dominance dropping, allowing these altcoins, especially versus the BTC pairs, to really get running, right? A lot of them have put in convincing lows, higher lows, and are starting to break out. So we'll start with Bitcoin. My main issue with Bitcoin right now is, well, there's a few. First of all, this is not great, right? And I don't mean any candle in specific. I just mean we're going straight the fuck up, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 green weekly candles in a row, right? Looks like this fifth candle is going to close red. But before that, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So can we do more? Yes, but the difference here is these are relatively small-bodied candles relative to the candles we're seeing now. Now, obviously, in terms of percent gain, right, that's the biggest difference. That's a 15% candle, right? Like what we're talking about here is we've got a 20% candle, right, followed by another, well, it's even more actually. We've got a fuck off. Okay, we've got a 21% candle followed by a 23% candle followed by a 25% candle followed by another absolutely monster candle. So we're seeing did I do that backwards? Sorry guys, I did do that backwards. That's 52%. I apologize. That's 34%. This one is 30%. This one is 28%. So lots of upward movement, not really a ton of downward movement. Anytime we have a parabolic advance like this in Bitcoin and in any market, unfortunately, it leads to an unwind. That's just the way it is. This is not going to go up forever. I want it to go up much higher. I don't think the bull run is over. But in terms of just healthy market structure for continuation, this kind of consolidation and then maybe a dip a little lower is actually good, right? Same thing happened here, right? So we're in this big bull trend here, right? And then we have these kind of consolidations with some serious drawdown, and then we get another leg, right? Because what you need to have expansion, right? Expansion is upward price movement, is you need consolidation, right? Consolidation leads to expansion. And what happens look at what happens here. See how long this consolidation is, right? And then this one, right? And then it's all of a sudden, it's getting smaller and smaller. And then we're just straight up vertical price action with little to no consolidation. And then that's when the actual top is in and the bubble burst, right? So ideally, right, we're in one of these types of situations where we're going to see some sideways, we're going to see some down, but that is consolidation before expansion. I don't think we're going to unwind and retrace 80%. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bigger pullback than we have so far, right? Like this one ended up pulling back, 40%, but it started with a 30% dump. Then it, kind of made a lower high, you know, and then dribbled its way down, dumped again, and then it recovered. Then we continued, right? Same thing here. We had some sort of big dump off the top, 20%, right? A little bit of consolidation, another drop, they continued. What we don't want to be at is this stage, right? We don't want to be at the stage where it's just straight up, there's no consolidation, because that's when the bubble bursts, right? And that's what we don't want. We want this bull run to go on longer. We want to see 100K Bitcoin, da-da-da-da-da. In my opinion, for that to happen, something like what's happening right now in price is not a bad thing at all. Because if this is just like the end, right, that's going to suck, right? This was way too short for how long of a bear market we all suffered through, right? So I don't necessarily think it's bad that we're seeing this kind of sideways consolidation by any means. But my main concern in terms of, so high time frame, I'm still bullish, but you know, we could be in some sort of massive range like this, right? Like this might be our trading range. Okay, and if this is our trading range, that means, you know, we can come all the way down here, right? You know, maybe sweep the low, a deviation for Trader SZ fans out there, right? And then maybe we break out. Like, this is not bad in my opinion, right? This would give us time to have alts run. It would also give some time to put some actual structure in for a continuation leg to higher prices, right? But if we're just going to continue to chad straight up, the unwind is only going to get more vicious, right? So personally, I do think this is kind of the situation that we're in. I mean, maybe you can say it's this. I don't know if you want to, right? But I think we're in some sort of kind of larger range. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think what's happening right now is we've established the range. We've been trading above the mid-range. And if we start trading below here, right, this is going to line up well with my SR levels, right? We could see some sort of move towards the lower end of the range, right? And then see continuation back to the upside. That's kind of my high time frame potential. The reason I think that we might roll over here, I'm not saying we are, I'm not short. In fact, I'm actually long, and I'm along a fuck ton of altcoins, is because generally when I see continuation in price action, right, this higher low needs to make a higher high, right? Like if this is a bullish trend and this is going to continue higher, this higher low needs to generate a higher high above here. And we're not seeing that. In fact, we're seeing that we've already, this is different. This is much more bullish than where we are now. And the reason being is because, I hate when I use that tool. The reason being is because now we've locked in a lower high. This is a lower swing high on the daily chart, right? So it is something to be aware of. What I wanted to see, right, was continuation here. I want to see a continuation leg above here. Much like you see, you know, kind of here, right? Higher low makes a higher high, right? This is apparent on all time frames. This is just how price works. So when we're looking at the, I'll go down to the H4, yeah. When we're looking at the little bit of the lower time frame, we can actually start to see, right, we've got now consecutive lower highs here. Not quite a lower low, right? It SFP'd. We got a little bit of a bounce today, but we now got two low time frame lower highs, right? So the market structure that needs to shift on the daily for this to remain, you know, bullish, not that it's not bullish overall, but to remain bullish is this high, right? That high needs to get taken out. But now on the H4, you have more market structure to work with, right? So you have this high here. This would be kind of your first sign that, hey, maybe we're going higher. And then obviously, ultimately, this high here. If we get above here, we're most likely going above there. But on the H4 right now, what I'm kind of seeing is two scenarios here. And I'm not a pattern trader by any means, right? But I think it's pretty obvious that we're in some sort of wedge, right? Some sort of triangle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And generally, there's kind of two ways that this can kind of play out. This can break out to the upside, which is standard for this type of a triangle. It usually follows what the lead-in trend is. If the lead-in trend is up, this will usually break out, right? What does that mean, though? That means BTC dominance goes up. That means alt BTC pairs and altcoins probably take a lick, right? we could see a little bit more sideways, or ultimately this could break down. The one other thing I'm kind of watching is something like this. And this is more of a bearish type of setup, right? This is kind of your descending triangle, whatever you want to call it. What do I call it? I call it market structure. I see lower highs, and I see multiple attempts at support with each reaction getting weaker, right? The whole bouncy ball meme, right? And then eventually the floor, gives way. So that's another kind of situation that I'm watching here. Something like this where it's like, okay, maybe we're bouncing here, and eventually this thing gives way. So I'm not much of a pattern trader. I'm more of a level-to-level kind of guy. But for now, I think the clear levels for me of interest, right? And then obviously if we break on the upside of here, I think we go higher, are these two levels right here, right? So I think in between these levels, I think we can have some altcoin fun. Below this level, I think alt USD pairs probably take a bit of a shit, right? Because a lot of alt USD pairs are going to flow but higher beta to Bitcoin itself. But alt BTC pairs should probably hold up, right? A lot of alt BTC pairs look like this, right? Right? So they've made a low, that's kind of your risk. Then they've made a regain of the range, right? And then they've made like a higher high. So if Bitcoin were to break down, a lot of these alt BTC pairs I think are going to do this, and that's going to be a great buying opportunity, right? Because it's a good chance that low is in for the next leg up, right? And if BTC dominance is going down, right, that's what you need to see alt season or whatever. Just for alts to run, BTC dominance needs to go down. But a lot of alt USD pairs, right, are going to, probably break down with Bitcoin if Bitcoin is to break down. So I'm kind of tentative on Bitcoin right now. I think we're kind of in, a period of sideways, obviously. What you'll notice on Twitter, especially in terms of just kind of sentiment, is when we're going sideways, when we're in this kind of chop, which is what we're seeing, right? This is a massive amount of chop that's going on, right? Bitcoin's going to shit, Bitcoin's going all-time high. Bitcoin's going to shit, Bitcoin's going all-time high. Bitcoin's going to shit over and over and over and over again. Those types of emotions are what you see in sideways consolidation, right? That's the type of sentiment that you're going to get a read. When we're trending super hard to the upside, right, you're going to see the euphoria, blah, blah, blah. And when we're trending down to the downside, you're going to see people in despair. And when we're going to kind of this sideways, you're going to see a lot of people flipping their buys, flip. No one really knows what's going on. The best way to trade this for me, personally, is a very clear breakout type of strategy, right? So I think shorting this here isn't a terrible move because I think your risk is relatively defined. I think if you are playing this kind of a swing here, right? I don't know, you're probably wrong up here or up here on a short, right? If this is where you're entering. And then you're going to be targeting below this low, right? And that's going to be at least a 2-to-1. You could have a stop up here. That's super loose, but that's like kind of, okay, we're expecting this to major nuke. The other way that you can play this, in my opinion, and how I'm playing it personally is in here, I'm focusing on altcoins. I mean, I say that. I've been trading Bitcoin because I just have a glutton for punishment, and I like trading shit that is, chopping me the fuck up. But nice little SFP here. We're pushing up. I think if we regain this area here, right, and you can even use this trend line as confluence, right, because if we do one of these, right, that's probably a short, right, down into here, and then above here, right, if we do one of these, that's probably a long, right, and then your risk is going to be whatever pushed us above there. So if we have PA like this is the low that brings us above here. That's probably where I'm putting my stop as opposed to just at the edge of the block for continuation upside. So I would probably be looking to make a breakout long above here, above 38,500, let's call it, just to kind of give it the round number. I'm pretty confident that I would long Bitcoin there. I'm not interested in longing it where we are now. I'm interested in longing down here, or I'm interested in longing above here, right? Where am I interested in shorting? Here and below here. I mean, you could argue, if you're convinced that we're bearish, right, you could argue, you could argue that this is your range right here, right? So if you're bearish within this range, this is where you want to short, right? We're near the top of the range. We deviated above. You could argue that, this is your invalidation on shorts, right? So I could see that. Not a trade I'm personally taking, but I can see it. I'm going to wait for a breakout in either direction. So some sort of break above here will be a long. If we were to break out and then get back below, that would be a short, right? But I think if we get below here, I think there's a very good chance that we trade like $5,000, $6,000 lower. So am I getting in at the Pico top? No. But if I think we're going to 27K from here, I'm okay getting in at 33K, right? I don't mind waiting for this to happen, right? And then shorting here, right? And covering it down into here. I'm okay with missing the first few $1,000s of the move, because to me, once we're below that gray line, I've got some sort of confirmation. And inherently, because I love Bitcoin, my bias is kind of bullish, right? So I talked about this in my video on Friday, and I've posted all of these on Twitter for you guys. I've basically mapped out every single short, not every short, but the main shorts I mapped out and posted in advance on Twitter with the intention of taking them, right? I wanted to short this. I said, okay, we're going to short here. I didn't do it because what happens, right? What is this retracement, right? What happens is when price comes up here, right, and dumps, and it is going to make a lower high. You know that, right? Like down here, I'm going to short the shit out of this when it gives it to me. I don't want to chase the red. I want to short the retracement, right? But what price does, and what that kind of deep pullback suggests, is it takes it just far enough where you start second guessing yourself, right? Where it's like down here, everyone wanted to short at 40K, right? Me included. Everyone wanted to short 40K when we're at 31K after a huge 30% drop. Everyone's like, all right, the top is in. I'm shorting 40K. I'm going net short. The problem is you, because we're all monkeys, right? Once price gets back up here, we're going, oh, holy shit, we're at 40K. We're just going to do this. We're just going to go to all-time high, and we're just going to continue. That was it. The low is in, right? And so now that plan that you made down here is completely out the window. Price is pushed just far enough up to make you flip bullish again, and then it actually sells off. So I missed that short. That's one that I posted on Twitter. And then I had the next one as well, the exact same situation, right? I was like, I'm going to short 38K. We came up into 38K. I didn't short it because, I'm an idiot. But it is what it is. I don't like shorting Bitcoin right now. I would rather be longing Bitcoin and not shorting it. I would rather fucking short it after we go to 100K. And we're clearly in a bear market. But maybe I got to take my bull goggles off temporarily. I don't know. One thing that is, potentially bullish here, right? So, I mean, obviously I don't like that we didn't make a higher low here. But this has not made a lower low yet, right? So technically we could still push up from here, right? But we need to take out this high. We need to put back in bullish market structure. There's no bearish market structure to me clearly yet on the super high time frame. This is a lower high, right? But the lower high is not confirmed until it makes a lower low. So technically there's a chance that we can push up, but if I had gun to my head, I think something like this is what happens next. If I had to guess, right? I think we're going to move up a little bit higher, and then I think we're going to see a move down. But I guess we'll find out soon, right? So Bitcoin, a little bit hard to read right now. And so if you're trying to force a trade on this, I'm going to introduce you some altcoins that have been like dead easy to fucking trade. Versus trying to force a trade on this, because I'm guilty of this all the time. I always want to trade Bitcoin, and then there's altcoins that are doing 50% in a day, and I'm sitting here trying to squeak out 5% on a Bitcoin long. So sideways, maybe a little down. Hopefully, if we break down from here, I'm expecting 27,000. That's from over here. So basically run all of these lows, fill in this wick. That's kind of where I'm targeting if we break down from here. And if we are to break up from here, I'm targeting, obviously this high, and then you take some sort of fib extension. What would be a 1.5 price swing here? Let's see. 56K. Let's see if we do the fib extension. What do we get? Fib extension. $1.168 around 51K. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely targeting up into the 49 to 50K region, I think, if we are to break up, obviously. So hopefully sideways, hopefully no major nukage. I don't like how this candle is closing right into the daily here. Like this daily candle is going to close kind of ugly now, right? This would have been a lot nicer if it was a green candle. I don't like it. I don't like it. Sorry, one sec here. Okay, so we need to see some sort of bullish PA come in. Obviously, this is the weekend. You've got to take any sort of movement we have on the weekend with a grain of salt, lower volume, The Coinbase ape isn't smashing market buy. We'll see what happens tomorrow, right? Monday morning, I think will be very telling for Bitcoin. But, don't really want to see us start trading below here if you're bullish, right? So need to see us make a higher high above here to have continuation. The odds of continuation, if we lose this level, are going to be reduced. And then Trader SZ is going to be on Twitter. He's going to be retweeting his calls. He's going to be posting the Reaper GIF. And we're all going to be like, why didn't we listen? Why didn't we listen? So let's talk about Ethereum next here. So, crazy that this level is still intact, kind of. What time frame is this fucking level from? I'm gonna say 4 hour. What is going on here? I don't know. Screw that level. Okay, let's look at Ethereum, Bitcoin, the dollar pair first. So we essentially are at all-time high, pretty much, right? All-time high is, it's not that high. Here we go. God, I'm gonna delete all of this shit. All-time high sitting around, 1420, 1430, depending on what exchange you're on. People need to remember, right? Bitcoin did not break all-time high right away, right? It did not break all-time high right away. If you want to look at Bitstamp or whatever, we had a little bit of consolidation. Look at this drawing I did. Perfect. We had a little bit of consolidation, right? Around the all-time high area, a little bit of congestion. We rejected, right? We spent a couple weeks trading underneath all-time high before we finally broke through, right? So you can see that here. Doesn't look like much. It looks like we just chatted through, but if you remember, I remember because I tried to short it, we had kind of some, lame price action here where we rejected, we had a little bit of a nuke, we went a little bit higher, we had a little bit of a nuke. So the fact that Ethereum is not blasting through all-time high on its very first go is not surprising to me at all. More importantly, the question is going to be, okay, when will it break through all-time high and how low can it dip? How, am I going to get an opportunity to position myself a little lower for that eventual all-time high break? I am fully confident that this will break all-time high. It's a matter of when, not if. The question is if Bitcoin is going to break down and show some weakness, is it going to drag Ethereum USD down with it, right? So looking at the levels over here on the weekly, the only real level of interest to me would be the highest weekly candle close, right? So look how nice that works, right? And I'll show you another example of why a candle like this is important. So the absolute high here on Bitfinex was 1351, right? This is 1349.70. You want to know another example of when this worked really well? Was on Bitcoin, it was here. So if you go to the monthly, I believe on Bitcoin, the highest monthly close, obviously before now, was here. And look at where price came up on that kind of 14K run. Right up into that high, literally to the dollar. Am I crazy? 13,880. The high of this candle is 13,880, right? So same kind of logic going on here for Ethereum, but we're looking on the weekly chart, right? So on the weekly chart, we've come up, we've spiked into the highest candle close, and then we've retraced into this level here, okay, at 1245. So to me, this is a super key area of interest for Ethereum. I can zoom in more, and there's probably some sort of order block in here or some BS I could mark. I don't need to. I want to look at price recently, right? Where are we now? And so you can see how important those two key levels are in terms of price. We broke through, we spiked, we broke down, and now we're hammering below. So this is, to me, the key level for Ethereum. This is 1245 level. I want to see some sort of high time frame close through 1245, which we have not gotten for 1, 2, 3, or 4 days in a row. We've been hammering at it. What does that mean? It means eventually it will break, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of rejection first. So this is going to be kind of my key level. I think once we get above here, we're going to see that run to this level, and then we're going to see the run to all-time high and beyond. Again, it's a matter of when, not if, but we could do this first, right? So you have to be prepared. So 1245 and 1350 are our key levels. Just remember that. We zoom in a little bit more, and to me, this looks like a little shitty. We have that 1245 level, stopping price. What forms at key levels, right? Order blocks, right? So there's our supply, right? There's our relevant supply level, our order block level. We also have a bunch of nasty swing failure patterns here, right? So on the daily chart, you can delete this for a second, right? That's a swing failure pattern, right? That's like kind of an SFP right here. So this kind of looks like it's rejecting from this area and it's gonna pull back, like if I had to bet. And if this is weak and this looks shitty and Bitcoin kind of looks indecisive, it makes me lean towards the downside. I'm not gonna rush to short Bitcoin. I actually think if you're gonna short, this is a better short than Bitcoin. I think the setup is more clear. I don't have a clear setup to short here. This was the clear setup and hedge for Bitcoin, right? Like if I would have taken my original hedge, I'd be fucking chilling right now because I would be short hedged at 40K and my invalidation is going back to where we are, right? I think on Ethereum, we're right here, right? Boom, we're right here. So this is the concern if you're bullish on Ethereum. I think FBTC does look good. But I don't think this looks very good, right? Like to me, this is a short. Pull your fib, throw on your magic OTE. We're coming right up into the 7.9, the 7.5, and we're rejecting, right? So I think you've got a pretty clear short invalidation with this wick as well, right? So if you zoom in a little bit, you can actually refine that H12 block to here, okay? And now all of a sudden, boom. You've got your invalidation right here is that SFP, right? Look at how this candle is closing right now. Ran above all these highs and it's going to close below in 2 minutes. So not a great look, I think, for Ethereum. I think this is actually a better short than Bitcoin. Like if you're looking to short, I feel like this is the one you short, right? This looks like a bear flag. Right, that looks like a bear flag. So, doesn't look great. Again, I think you're way closer to your short invalidation on Ethereum than you are on Bitcoin. So if you're like, I'm bearish, I want to short, I want to hedge, I think this is the pair that you do it on. I think your invalidation is above here. I think if we start trading above here, I think absolutely we're going to go higher. So I think if you want to short, this is the pair to short. It looks kind of weak, multiple rejections. It is making higher lows, right? But it's failed to make a significant higher high after making this low, which is exactly what Bitcoin did, right? So if you look at this on a slightly lower time frame, right, it's pushing up, but it never made a high above here, and then it rejected. Now, to me, very similar price action, right? Kind of a bear flag, and then it broke down. I'm not saying we're going to the depths of hell, but just something to be aware of. So if you're looking to short one of the two pairs, I think Ethereum is actually the better short. I think any sort of short thesis gets invalidated above this high. If we get above this high, I think we push higher. So we just got a new daily candle starting right now. So as we're doing the stream, we can kind of monitor and see what these things do, right? But if this thing makes kind of a push up to start the day and then trades back below, that's probably a good short opportunity, right? Using the daily open strategy, if we start trading above the daily open, then get back below it right away, good chance that the high of the day is in, right? So let's wait and see, but this doesn't look amazing to me, and I think out of the two, this one's a better short. I think what will happen on Ethereum here, right, because it is going to break out, right? It's hammering away at that level. It is going to put in just a green candle. Like once this thing breaks out, it's just going to be like, right? And then we're going to be all-time high. Everyone's going to be happy. We're all going to have 2 girlfriends and dogs and boats and everything. It's just bound to happen. But if Bitcoin is weak, if Bitcoin decides to break down, right? So I'm still leaning towards, a little bit of sideways, maybe a little bit of up first. But if Bitcoin for some reason just nukes, right, has a high volume sell-off, it is going to drag Ethereum down. And what happens is every time Bitcoin has any sort of weakness in price action and has some sort of low time frame downtrend, Ethereum reacts more violently, right? It's the higher beta play. So let's wait and see. I'm not shorting anything. Like I said, I'm actually still in longs. But if you wanted to short one of the two, to me, this one is a more clear setup. And the invalidation is closer, and there's just a more clear trade for how I trade. Do whatever the fuck you want to do at the end of the day. But that's just my thoughts. Once this thing breaks through that 1245 level on the daily, right? So once it gets through this level, essentially like right here at 1254, whatever it was, gets a daily close through there, we're going to all-time high and beyond. I do think that Ethereum will trade at 2K. The question is does it trade at 1,000 again before it trades at 2K, right? So let's see here. Ethereum BTC. So one thing to pay attention to for Ethereum BTC for Ethereum in general, is Ethereum BTC, excuse me. So this is looking pretty fucking good to me. If I go all the way out to the monthly, right? So I posted this on Twitter. We've talked about this in these streams since the month of August, right? So in the month of August, we were trading up here. I talked about a retest of this bullish monthly order block, put in a higher low, fucking send it, mate. So that's kind of what we're seeing happen right now, right? We've got our low, we've got our high, we've got our higher low. Into support, high time frame, this thing looks great. Like just looking at this on the monthly, I fully expect this to trade up into this level here soon. This is the monthly chart. That could be 3 months from now, right? It could be 2 months, it could be 4 months from now. But the bottom line is I'm expecting it to see significant upside from where it is now, and this is the key to everything, to alt season, to all that bullshit, right? Once this thing breaks out and breaks above this high and puts in a big old candle like this, right? That's when alts are gonna go absolutely crazy. I know some alts are going crazy now, but alts are gonna go even crazier. Like we're seeing 20-30% days. Like that's when you start seeing the 100-200% days. Some coin you put $1,000 in is now worth 10,000. Like that's when the shit gets really crazy, is when this thing is going ham and when the Bitcoin dominance chart is looking kind of weak, right? Again, we talk about this all the time. This is just a fraction of Ethereum over Bitcoin. So Bitcoin being kind of soft, sideways, maybe going down is actually good for this pair. now that it is in, kind of bullish market structure. So we came into the weekly order block, right? We tagged the OTE of the move, right? We tagged into the OTE. We also tagged like the 50% of the order block perfectly, right into the 50% of the order block. So everything was lining up that I thought this was the bottom on FBTC. Turns out that was right. So we talked about that in this videos. We've talked about that on Twitter. So I'm really happy with how this is looking. This is just a matter of time, right? So like if you don't have a bag of ETH yet and you haven't bought any ETH in the last, kind of fucking year, you're running out of time to accumulate ETH before it eventually fills in this fucking range, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Once it pushes up through here, I think it will fill this rather quickly. So I'm well positioned in ETH, and I have been for a long time. So I hope you are too, because this thing looks awesome. I don't see anything bearish about this chart, high time frame. Zooming in a little bit, the weekly also looks really good to me. This looks like, very clear bullish market structure. Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. What's next? A higher high, right? So could we see a little bit of a dip first? Sure. But in terms of just kind of higher time frame market structure, this thing looks to be setting up very beautifully for continuation and more upside. So I'm really bullish on Ethereum, for the rest of Q1 and going into Q2. Ethereum USD can kind of, it's been leading, right? So it can go sideways and down while this catches up, right? If this breaks out and Ethereum is and Bitcoin is going sideways and down, the logic would be that Ethereum BTC is outperforming BTC USD, right? That would be the logic. So this looks really good to me on the weekly as well. We've just made a little intermediate higher high here on the daily, right? So we've wicked through it. We've now got a daily close through that previous high. So to me, you're looking at this as kind of your ceiling, right? We've got, 1, 2, 3, 4 taps at this level. This is going to break out. Again, just a matter of time. The question is do we get a little bit of a dip first? I think that has already happened. I think this little bull flag kind of thing here, right? I think that was your chance to kind of load up here. To me, I think this week, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this push higher. So really bullish on this pair. I think it looks great. And I think that overall, how bullish this looks is really good sign for other alts. Obviously the DeFi altcoins that are absolutely flying right now. The onboarding mechanism for everything DeFi is through Ethereum. So bullish Ethereum is bullish for everyone, right? Everyone's happy. So this looks really good. No concerns about this whatsoever. Pretty happy with how this looks, how the analysis is played out in terms of this being the bottom. Like, you have a good level when this happens, right? When it comes into your level and then it leaves quickly, you get an impulse reaction. That's how you know that the level is good. That also lets you know that the trend is strong, right? If this is an uptrend, I don't want to see price come down here and go like this, right? I want to see it do exactly this, right? Strong impulse move away. So just a matter of time until this high is taken out. And once this high is taken out, I think we are going to be seeing 0.05 on Ethereum very quickly, which is super exciting. And obviously Ethereum USD will go to all-time high soon as well. But yeah, all USD pairs, this is kind of, to me, the proxy for everything. This is looking super good, and a lot of other coins are starting to line up super good as well. Okay, let's check the chat here. Sorry, I got something like stuck on my teeth. There we go. Okay. 454 people watching. This is crazy. Thank you guys so much. 108 likes. Let's pump those numbers up for me, man. Let's pump those numbers up. Let's try and get 200 likes. I sound like such a friggin' corny YouTuber. Like and subscribe. But the dopamine is real, man. I'm not smoking weed these days. I need the dopamine, the serotonin from somewhere, and the only place I can see that come from is from likes on YouTube. There's nothing else. I have nothing else. Okay. Yeah, we do got to tell the bears to leave. Unfortunately, the bear is the moderator of the chat. Yeah, we'll talk about the dollar. So I'll do a little bit of analysis on the dollar because I do think there is some relevance in terms of what we're seeing on Bitcoin in terms of slowing down its uptrend and the dollar finally potentially finding a bit of a base, a bit of a floor. Okay. Nicaine is back. I'm just fully leaning into the whole neck thing, man. I'm just gonna go for it, and I'll do a neck reveal. I'll do like a shirtless stream or some bullshit. Once we hit 50K Bitcoin, that'll be it. Girthy neck equals girthy ... Are you hating on me, Sophie? My mom watches these streams. How dare you? But DM me. Hey, what's up, Alessandro? My neck reveal is not till 50K. This is not the neck, man. I'm wearing like a friggin' long sleeve here. The neck is only half the battle. You guys gotta see the traps. That's where the real excitement is at. When damp, when cheap prices. Add MTA, my man. Okay, I'll take a look at MTA. Sir, why are you showing your face? I don't know why that would make you sad. Are you saying I'm ugly, Keno? That's not very nice. Girt equals girthy. That is true. That's why I like Girt so much. I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry. Hey, Maine, what do you think about Dixie? We're going to look at Dixie. BitBoy is the equivalent of gas fees being 100. Yeah, we're fuck BitBoy. BitBoy, if you're watching this, fuck you. You don't accidentally plagiarize something. You don't accidentally get caught plagiarizing twice. Like BitBoy on crypto Twitter is a meme. No one respects him. The problem is there's all of these people who go on YouTube for their kind of content because they want to watch a video or something, and you got that big fucking Jabba the Hutt looking son of a bitch spewing a bunch of BS to you. It's like, fuck. Maybe I should be nicer. I don't know. Are we respecting the pump today, sir? It doesn't seem like we are respecting the pump. Are you hedged right now or net long? Right now I am net long, but I'm probably I'm gonna wait for the market to tell me what to do before I decide if I want to hedge or short. I unfortunately think the good hedge short on Bitcoin passed. Again, I mean, we're still at 36K. If you think we're going to 27K, right? At the end of the day, and I talked about this in my video on Friday, right, is like if you're basing your account in Bitcoin, right, like you can try and maximize by shorting, hedging, right, or you can just not give a shit about the USD price and just focus on accumulating more Bitcoin, right? Okay. So many comments. It's crazy. I don't know how people who have like hundreds and thousands of subscribers like keep up with the chat, man. It's crazy. Okay. Could you go over ways to get in on a trend if you've missed the initial SR trade? Love your streams, mate. Yeah, bro. So I mean, if price is trending, right, and this is your SR level, right, and we do this, and you miss it, what do you want to do, right? You want to be, okay, well, where's your next level of SR? Price is not just going to blast off without you. Maybe mark a previous high, or maybe mark the demand that was created that caused the move up, and then buy on the dip, right? So if the trend is up, and you're expecting it to keep going up, right? You're looking to buy on continued bullish market structure. So if it makes a new high, right, you're looking to buy near a higher low. Don't overcomplicate it. You're not always going to get in on the SR test, right? And it's also not always going to give you the SR test, right? Everyone expects price to do this, right? Sometimes it will do this, right? And that's still bullish, right? But it didn't come and give you that entry. So what do? Right? Do you enter here, or you say, okay, maybe now that we've broken this, okay, I'm going to get in there, right? So don't be afraid to enter because you think you've missed the initial part of the move. Price usually is going to pull back and give you that entry you want. Case in point is right here, right? How many people do you think shorted down here? A lot. That's why we did this, right? So you don't chase this. You wait for the retest, right? You wait for some sort of pullback, and that's where you get involved. Okay, let's look at the dollar quickly, and then we will look at all of these altcoins, and then we can kind of go from there. So the dollar, one of the reasons that there's concern, right, about crypto, for me and for other guys that I know that pay attention to things like the dollar, as most of you should, is this looks like it could potentially be putting in at least some sort of short-term bottom, right? So we had this huge move up, and then we had this huge downtrend, right? This is the bottom of crypto here. This is 3K. This is the COVID bottom, right? And then this is now 40K. So the dollar weakness is completely inversely correlated to the strength we've seen on Bitcoin over the past 9 months, however many months it's been. So something you've got to pay attention to, right? You've got to pay attention to the dollar. This happens all the time, right? Bottoms and tops in crypto occur, relatively around the same time that bottoms and tops occur on the dollar. It's not always a one-to-one inverse correlation. But if you look at the top of 2018, right, what was the dollar doing? It was bottoming, and then it went on a rally. This is your bear market, right? There's 3K. Here's your run to 40K. So this definitely matters. I'm not saying it's 1-1. I think from a macro perspective it matters. But if this thing is going to have some sort of relief bounce, I still think the dollar trades lower. Like if you zoom out, like I still think that, eventually the dollar trades lower. Eventually, right? But it doesn't mean that it can't go up on the short term. And coming into this monthly level here, okay? Coming into this monthly level, right? We're seeing some support. And so to me, this is looking potentially like it might want to make a move up into here. Okay? Back up into this floor. Right? So just look at it right now. Like this looks like it's going to push up. We've come down, right? Made a lower low, right? And now we've reclaimed this low. Okay? And now we've made a higher high. So to me, this looks like it wants to push up. So if this is going to push up, I think at least short term, that can have bearish pressure on Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does some sort of move like this in the near future, that Bitcoin sees that sub 30K retrace. I would not be surprised if this thing lined up at all. What is the absolute bottom here? January 6th. What's the absolute top on Bitcoin? Right? January 8th, 2 days later, right? So the relationship is clearly there. It's just a matter of like it's not going to be 1-to-1. Oh, the dollar went up, Bitcoin goes down the same day. But if this thing is putting in a bullish trend on the daily chart, I would not be surprised to see some sort of bearish trend on the Bitcoin chart. What does Bitcoin look like right now? It looks like this, right? What is the inverse of this? It's this fucking thing right here. If I turn this upside down, right, you've got your peak, right? You've got your higher low, and then maybe we get one more low dip here. So it's very similar in terms of trend structure. So if this is going to be bullish, I would not be surprised at all to see Bitcoin pull back a little bit further. This is absolutely something you want to pay attention to. If you don't have this on your radar, get this on your radar. Set some alerts. I'm not trading the dollar itself, right? But you can use this as confluence. If this is going to be super strong, right? What do you think Euro USD is going to do? Probably going to go down, right? What do you think the dollar CAD is going to do? Right? It's probably going to go up. What do you think gold is going to do? It's probably going to go down. What do you think Bitcoin is going to do, right? It's probably going to go down. And that's because the US dollar, the DXY, is the denominator in this fraction. Denominator. So if the denominator is strong, generally the fraction goes down, right? So if you have 1 divided by 2, right? 1 divided by 3 is a smaller number, right? This is the opposite. It's the numerator here. You have 2 divided by 1, right? 3 divided by 1 is bigger. So in the numerator, it's going to, so like another pair would be like UJ. That would be a pair you want to be looking for longs on, right? Whereas all the denominated, US denominated pairs, gold, silver, EU, GU, yada, 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 Bitcoin, Ethereum, you're going to want to be looking for shorts. So again, not a one-to-one correlation, but the correlation is inevitable. I think people who think it's a meme don't understand it and haven't actually looked at the fucking facts, which is they are absolutely correlated. It's very clear that they're correlated. All you gotta do is put the charts up next to each other. So watching this for sure. This looks like a low is in to me, right? Into monthly support here. We've now made a higher low. We're making a higher high. So I think if the dollar does something like this, I think at the very least, it trades to about 92. And I would not be surprised at all if that is what it takes to give the downward pressure for Bitcoin to make some sort of, like leg down towards sub 30. And then I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go up over time, but that would line up with the dollar doing something like this maybe, right? Because I'm overall bearish on this, but this has a lot of room it can bounce, right? This could bounce all the way up here, right? I don't think it will clear this consolidation, right? But it can bounce up into here, right? And then make another low. Still look like complete dog shit on the high time frame, but there could be a short-term pullback here, which could lead to a short-term correction on Bitcoin, right? And this is the weekly chart, right? This could be a multi-month kind of thing, right? So as much as I want Bitcoin to go to 50K, if this goes on some multi-week rally and the market moves to risk off, right? So the stock market starts pulling back, gold starts pulling back, all of this shit starts pulling back, and we see some dollar strength for the rest of the quarter, right? February and March, we could see some sort of multi-week correction on Bitcoin, trading down into the 27K region, right? Like maybe Bitcoin has some sort of, correction where it has, trades down, right? And then going into Q2, it starts uptrending again, right? This is completely possible, and I don't think this is a bad thing because we've been going straight up vertical for months, right? The bulls have been right for months and months and months with almost no punishment, right? So dollar is something to pay attention to, absolutely. And yeah, watch that on your charts. Add the DXY to your watch list and pay attention to it. What's next here? Does that make sense? Is it still a good time to buy Ethereum? Watch my Ethereum part of the video. I think Ethereum goes to all-time high soon. I think it goes to $2,000 soon. But there might be a chance that you can buy it 20% cheaper. So what is your plan? Are you an investor? Are you a trader? Right? What are you doing? If you're a trader, I would wait for some sort of breakout to get involved, or some sort of pullback. If I'm an investor, right, anytime Ethereum drops 5, 10, 15% in a day, I would just buy a little, right? Because I think it does go up long term. But you've got to figure out what is your investment time horizon, what's your risk tolerance, what kind of investor are you? Are you a trader, active? Are you passive? And then you got to make those decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to do, even though I just told you what to do. This is not financial advice. Thoughts on Keemstar's 220K XRP position? Oh, wow. You hear that? That's my chest. Here's the thing, right? Like, can XRP pump? Absolutely, right? But it just got delisted off Kraken. Like, it's getting delisted everywhere. And there's coins that are doing 30, 40, 50% in a day. And XRP is still trading at 27 cents. So can XRP go absolutely ham? Of course it can. But there's so many coins that have better charts than this that aren't getting sued by the SEC and don't have that risk involved with it that you can trade and are volatile right now. Like if you've been, I made a tweet about this earlier. I said there's opportunity with all the movement that we have in all these various markets right now, right? There's opportunity cost being in the wrong coin. So if you're sitting there holding some coin that's not moving, right? Yes, there's a chance that you're holding it, you sell, and then it goes up. Of course, that's a possibility. But if you've been holding it for 3 weeks where all these other coins are looking like this, right? And you're sitting in the one that's this, right? There's opportunity cost there. That's what happened to me with EOS. So for GERT, thank God it finally moved. But for a while, I've been trading GERT for most of the month of January. I longed it 5 times. 5 fucking times. And the 5th time is the one where I longed it here and it finally fucking moved. But there's a bunch of altcoins that are going crazy and my altcoin is doing this, right? This is poor allocation of capital. So you gotta be okay cutting a position, moving your money elsewhere, right? Or at least being aware that know when you're wrong. Just because it doesn't go down doesn't mean you're wrong. If every other coin does this and your coin does this, you were wrong. It doesn't mean that yours won't go up and you didn't get stopped out, but you're missing out on other coins, right? These markets are very much correlated, most of them. So you want to be getting in the movers, right? If your coin is not moving, don't be afraid to cut it, get in a new fucking coin, right? But why trade Bitcoin right now, right? When you can trade something that is literally just trending so easily, right? It's consolidating, pulling back to support, legging up, right? Wouldn't be surprised if this does this. So there's so many coins that are trading beautifully, right? Fucking Link, been an absolute machine. There's your SR, right? Here's your SR again, right? So broke above, traded down to this one, back up, retest right there, right? Little pullback, consolidation, another leg up. So this is way more easy to trade than trading Bitcoin right now, in my opinion, right? So a lot of these alts are pretty liquid for the most part, unless you're trading crazy huge size. This fucking drives me nuts. So I long this here. I held it through here, and then I sold it literally right here. So I sold for a break even, slightly better, and it's up 150% since then. So why are you holding XRP when this is going like this, right? I just think it's a poor allocation of capital. For a guy like Keemstar, I don't know what his knowledge is of crypto or anything like that, so I don't fucking know if it's a bad decision for him. I just feel like there's better places you can put your money than XRP right now. Respect the pump meme is amazing. It is amazing. How much retracement would hint you that we have reached the top? 50%. I don't understand your question. Hey dude, late as fuck. What's up, Floyd? I buy 12 XRP. Please tell me, is it going to move? So you've basically invested $4 into XRP and you want to know if that $4 is going to become fucking 40. I'm venturing towards no, but if it does, with that $40, you go and buy yourself a nice dinner. Can you look at Doge? I hate looking at Doge. Again, this is another coin where it's I don't know how to trade this. To me, this is not something that is easy to trade. Why are you trading this when you could be trading, something that looks like this? Right? Why trade Doge when you could trade something that looks like, this? Just very clear uptrend, very easy to spot range, right? Breaks above the range, starts trending hard. There's literally so many coins that look so good on so many time frames. The price action is clean. There's not that many crazy wicks. Yet people every stream will say, well, what about Doge? Right? Fuck Doge, right? Like, I get that it's a meme coin and stuff, and like everyone, you know, but like to me, this is, at least for me, I have no edge trading this. I don't even know how you chart this. Like, I don't know. I don't know where the levels are. It just looks ridiculous to me. So I wouldn't trade Doge personally. I think there's 100 better coins out there that you could be trading instead of this one. We pumped in 17 while DXY went up. So like I said, it's not a perfect one-to-one correlation. Just because Dixie's going up, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to drop. But there is a correlation there. We're at a multi-month low for Dixie. We're at a key level, and I'm expecting some relief after a hard sell-off. And Bitcoin looks kind of toppy, at least temporarily. How high can Link go? I have no fucking clue. $30? Again, this is not my edge. I'm not much of like a extrapolator. You know, I guess you pull your fib extension. Maybe it goes to $30. I don't know, right? A 1-to-1 price swing would be way the fuck up here. Or I don't even have 1-to-1. 1-to-1 would be like right around 40, I bet. Well, we can do it ourselves. Yeah, 40. So 1-to-1 price swing. This price swing stopped up top of itself would be 40. The 1.618 is like 33. So I think Link looks really good. Link is a DeFi coin, if I'm not mistaken, or like some sort of part of the DeFi network. So it looks good. DOT also looks fucking incredible. Like I got shilled DOT down here and I didn't buy a significant amount. I think I put in $10,000 into DOT here, and I had some very smart people who are very good with altcoins telling me to get huge into DOT. So I'm kicking myself over that one. But DOT, for example, if we get some sort of pullback to here, like I'm buying DOT bigly and very strongly. I will be buying DOT right in here. 13 to 14 bucks. If I'm given the chance, I'm gonna ape in. Okay, let's look at MTA for the homie Joey Zabs. Again, this is like, why trade XRP when there's coins that are doing this? So the one thing I would watch on this coin is this is the first kind of area of resistance I've seen in a long time. Obviously, this is a huge fucking box, but mark out the low. Mark out the high, mark out the midpoint, 293, close enough. So coming into some resistance, but this thing looks great. You know, very clear range. These all traded the exact same, like they all broke out the same. So you've got your low, right? You've got your high here. Let's take this one. Right, so there's your range. Came in, tested the range low. Bullish market structure on this move. Pulls back right into the range EQ, into previous supply or support, and just fucking sends. Right, so this looks great. Like this looks great. I think this is gonna go. I don't even know where this would pull back to yet, but this looks like it's at least going to go up into like the 260 to 290K region. I think this looks awesome. You should have DM'd me and told me to go all in, bro. I would have listened. Yeah, so I mean, you have a little bit of a consolidation here, but to me, this is super bullish, right? Huge sideways range for the last 2 months. A lot of coins look like this, right? November, December, they're going sideways, and then boom, break out of the range. So I think if you get lucky, you get a chance to buy it here. I think you do, right? Like maybe it does this, something like that. So this looks really good. Let's look at SNX here. Let's look at Litecoin real quick. Litecoin looks like a limp dick. The problem is this, right? Litecoin looks like shit because this looks like shit. So I was watching this on Litecoin, hoping it was finally going to break out, right? I'm like, okay, this is finally going to break out, and it broke down. So Litecoin BTC looks shitty, unfortunately, and that's why it's underperforming everything else, right? It looks like shit. You just look at this, like it looks like garbage. So until this thing starts looking somewhat bullish, you know, there's so many better places you can have your money. Has it ran that low? Not quite. So yeah, this looks like crap, unfortunately. So if you're a Litecoin holder, I sold on my Litecoin because it looked like shit. There's just other stuff, you know, kind of outperforming. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It needs to break up, and it needs to get back above. It needs to get back kind of into the trend. I think even needs to get back into the trend here. All right, so if it can get back above here, I think Litecoin gets interesting. Again, I think Litecoin sees all-time high eventually, right? But there's so much other shit that is pumping way harder, and the market structure looks way better, that I feel like your money is poorly allocated if it's been sitting in Litecoin. And the easiest way to tell is to first look at like if you're in an altcoin versus USD and it's not moving how you want it to do, the first thing you need to do is look at the BTC pair. If the BTC pair looks like shit, you're better off being in Bitcoin. If the BTC pair looks okay, but it's still underperforming, go look at other assets and see if there's a better place that you can put your money, right? There's so many fucking coins. You know, don't get married to your bag, right? Because there's a ton of other different coins, right? That's a problem I made with EOS, right? EOS Bitcoin looked like this. Like, clear this and we can talk. And boom, nuke, right? So why am I holding this? Well, I'm not anymore. I sold this a long time ago. Like, what is this? Right? So I'm holding EOS USD during this, right? I'm better off holding Bitcoin, right? It's doing shit. Is this gonna pump one day? Maybe, right? But when the Bitcoin pair looks like this, why would you be in this, right? The same thing goes for XRP. Look at the Bitcoin pair. You're better off just in Bitcoin. Forget other alts. You're better off just in Bitcoin until this thing starts to perk up and turn around. Until then, why would you ever invest in this at this point? It doesn't make any sense. It's going to underperform Bitcoin, and it's likely going to underperform the rest of the market, right? So yeah, LTC looks like shit, unfortunately, because of the BTC pair looking like shit. SNX, I mean, this thing is just a machine, just trending fucking hard. It's getting a little bit meh, but for now, right, it's continuing to make higher highs and higher lows, right? So that would be kind of the next play I look for in SNX, right? So low, high, higher, low, SR flip, right? Same thing kind of happening right up here, right? Higher low, higher high, boom, SR flip. So some sort of move like this, right? Above this high and a pullback into 16, 15 here. That would be the long op I'd be looking for on something like this. But again, you look at SNX BTC, it's in an uptrend, right? Again, we went over these on one of the videos. I don't remember when. So that's a 3-day order block there. And you can see, right, we broke up, retested support, broke up, retested support. So why would you ever hold XRP, EOS, whatever the fuck that is in a downtrend, LTC, when versus BTC this is bullish and versus USD it's bullish, right? So there's so many opportunities out there. Don't get fucking tied to some bag. because you've held it for a long time, right? There's opportunity cost holding something that is underperforming versus the rest of the market. So let's look at sushi. Sushi USD, absolutely insane. I mean, I think this goes to $10 eventually, right? Like, this is super sick. Looks amazing. I think any sort of dip, if we get one, I don't know where it would be to. Maybe to here, right? So maybe you get into here. This would be a dip I would buy on sushi, right? Ultimately, it could come down here, and I would still buy that, but this seems more likely based on how hard it's trending, right? Some sort of dip into there is a buy. Sushi BTC, right? Lo and behold, in a fucking uptrend, right? So why are you buying any coin that is not uptrending against Bitcoin? And the reason Ethereum is still a good bet is because this is starting to be in an uptrend versus Bitcoin. This is going to have a big old green candle here soon. This is not in an uptrend versus Bitcoin. This is not an uptrend versus anything, but especially not versus Bitcoin, right? So you need to look at the Bitcoin pair. So AVE, another one that's just going absolutely ham. I think if you get a pullback into here, I think it's a long. I'm not doing rocket science here, guys. I'm just marking daily support, right? Daily support as a place that you can buy. AVE, BTC. You think you can guess? Is it in an uptrend? It is in an uptrend. Look at that. When did I do this? Well, whenever I did that, I was a fucking genius, obviously. But there you go. There's your bottom, right? This is in an uptrend. It just made another high. So this looks good. GERT, right? Looking good. This was a very simple range play. Broke out of the range, retested the range high, sent it, GRT BTC, lo and behold, in an uptrend. Look at all these drawings that are playing out perfectly. I wish I knew when I drew these. So all of this stuff looks good. Here's a new coin that I've added to my watch list, Waves, right? So why do I like this coin? Well, versus Bitcoin, it looks like it's putting in some bullish market structure here. So this looks very similar to actually Ethereum for me, right? So it's coming to that monthly order block, very nice reaction, right? And look at how it's rounding off here, right? So this to me looks like it's starting to turn up, and this isn't something that's broken out like crazy just yet. I mean, obviously this thing's been trading great relatively, right? This has been in an uptrend for almost 2 years now, right? Outside of the start of last year, a little over a year, sorry, not 2 years, but a little over a year, right? So here's the start of last year, right? So for the last year, it's been in an uptrend. So that's a good look. And then you look at the Bitcoin pair, and the Bitcoin pair looks like it's ready to turn. So I'm really watching for this here. I think if the Bitcoin pair can break through here, right, I'm expecting the USD pair to really start cooking. And so the USD pair, I'm going to be looking for a break above here. You can see right where it topped, right there. Once it gets above here, I'm expecting this thing to go absolutely bonkers. So if you take like a fib, you want to do your little fucking extension. I'm really looking towards, $11 to $12 on this thing and beyond. And I bet you the 1-to-1 is probably right around $12. Boom, $13. So I think this looks really good. Bitcoin pair is in an uptrend. This is in an uptrend. This hasn't really broken out yet versus something like this that clearly has broken out, or versus something like, Curve that's already broken out. There's still coins that haven't gone absolutely bonkers yet, right? So Waves, one to definitely keep an eye on. I've added it to my watch list here. OMG is another one, right? So this one hasn't broken out on Bitcoin yet, but it's starting to show the signs, right? So we're higher lows here, right? Needs to get above this level for me to get interested. If it can get above this level here, I think it trades up into here. And then if you look at the dollar pair, very similarly, right, we're in a key resistance. And if it is able to break above this key resistance level here, I'm expecting expansion. So Waves looks really good. OMG looks really good. We've got ZEC. I know Gainsey has been getting absolutely cucked buying this one. Here's the problem. Is this doesn't look that good yet. Will this go up? Absolutely. But like, how many coins have I showed you that look better than this versus USD or versus BTC? So many, right? So why trade this when there's 100 other ones that look much better? This is going to go up soon. I do think this is starting to round off, right? So we've got a nice little SR flip that just happened right here on the BTC pair. So nice little SR flip here. So this will start going up, I think. It's just a matter of, time. But why trade the dollar pair, right, when the BTC pair isn't, kind of clearly trending? When you look at this, clearly trending, you look at, this clearly starting to trend. There's so many other pairs, I think, that are in better shape than ZEC. Link, obviously just a behemoth, broke all-time high. We kind of already talked about it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of all-time high retest, but this looks really fucking good. That could have been it. It could have already done it. Like, that's your all-time high retest. Maybe it's it, and it's just going to continue. But if Link legs up again, you want to buy this order block here. So, what else do we got here, guys? We got someone spamming the chat. All right. Yeah, let's look at Cardano. And Cardano looks great. Why? Start with the Bitcoin pair. Right? That looks bottomed to me, right? This looks just like Ethereum. Right into the monthly order block. Very nice reaction, pushing up. You look at the daily. This is an uptrend on the daily now. Low, high, higher low, higher high. So this looks good for continued upside. So yeah, bullish on Cardano, and then you look at Cardano USD, and it looks bullish. Big surprise. Broke out of this key area here, and now it's launched. If you're not long this already, right, don't chase the green candle. If it's going to break out, right, put in another leg, see if you get a retest of the consolidation or something, right, to get involved. Don't buy the breakout necessarily. I mean, sometimes that works, but when metals with Maine again, Opium, how you doing, man? Long time no see. Probably not this Friday, but the following Friday. I'm going cat skiing this coming weekend, so, but soon. Thank you, DeFi. Price prediction on Ethereum. I don't know, 2K? I have no idea. What's up, Bubbles? Have you looked into the long-term potential of GRT and what it does for DeFi? With Graph Protocol being the backbone of the ecosystem, it may possibly reach a top 20 spot, CMC, so CoinMarketCap, 4x from here. I'm not a fundamental kind of trader. I don't really do that type of fundamental analysis. I understand that GERT is some sort of like middleware or some shit when it comes to DeFi. Not something I'm particularly special at. I don't know what 99.9% of the stuff I trade does. I don't even know what Bitcoin does. I know a little bit, but I'm more focused on the chart, right? The chart looked good. I want to open a long. Where can that hurt me? Is that maybe GRT is going to $3 and I bought it at 30 cents and I sell it at 60, right? But for me, I'm just looking to make that money and I'm using that money to buy more Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's just how I trade. Maybe I'm not gonna, maybe if you put your entire life savings in GRT and it 10x's, you make more money than me, sure. But I'm a trader, so I approach the markets as that. My goal with all of the trades that I make is to buy more Ethereum and more BTC. I'm not really interested in spot holding a bunch of other altcoins. I've done that song and dance before in 2014 and partly in 2017, and it just burns me because you've got to time things so well, right? Maybe you sell too early, maybe you sell late, I don't know. I would just rather accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, as much Ethereum as possible, and it's just easier for me to manage. That's just how I trade. I'm not saying doing it any other way is wrong. I know guys who are, Trader XO is one of my good friends, and he's an absolute beast at trading altcoins. He knows which ones have good fundamentals, they're good projects, and those ones generally pump the hardest. If you're not into that stuff, find you a friend who's good at it, right? And then you'll make a good team. But I'm purely a technical trader. I look at the charts, I make decisions, I'm in and out. I don't really like holding shit for super long, but that's just me. All right. Yoel, stop spamming the chat, man. I see you. Price prediction for Ethereum 2000. There you go, bro. Filecoin, FIL. The guy said hype. Am I reading this right? This is at 24 per Bitcoin. How does that make any sense? Am I looking at the right chart? Yeah, okay, I don't know what I was looking at before there. So again, this looks not as good as some other coins, but coming up here, I think if you flip this area, this coin becomes interesting. And again, right, maybe it just hasn't pumped yet. I think there's better looking charts out there, but it could get interesting if the Bitcoin pair, I hate coins that are like this. Why are you like this? If we can flip this, I think it gets interesting. All right, Yoel, you gotta relax, homie. Cred, fucking killing me, man. You know how hard it was for me to do this stream, you guys. So I'm just starting to become a weeb. I'm 30 years old, and I've just discovered that anime is actually the greatest thing ever. So I'm watching, so far I've watched Avatar The Last Airbender, and I've already been roasted because people are like, that's not anime. So whatever, I liked it. Uncle Ear Roast the man. So now I'm watching Navatar, now I'm watching Naruto, I don't know. I can't say or spell any of the names properly. But I'm watching this fucking show, and the homie Cred let me know that there's a bunch of filler episodes, which have really helped because I've been wasting my time watching all of these BS episodes. And now I'm into the real thick of the shit. And, it's sad. I'm sad. And, yeah, it's depressing. I didn't know cartoons were supposed to make you so sad. All right. Ave, price predictions for Ethereum. Bro, I see the message, dog. What is wrong with you guys? You saying the same question over and over and over again, and you as well, Panda Fry, makes me not want to answer the question. Thoughts on Icon USD from Kimberly. Let's take a look. So I don't hate it. Coming into obviously a key level here, but it looks like it's going to break through. This looks pretty good. Let's look at the BTC pair. I imagine it looks like ICX. Interesting. Interesting. So, I mean, nothing there really yet on the weekly, but the daily, it's starting to perk up a little bit. Again, so many coins are already in an uptrend versus Bitcoin, right? So, ones that aren't, that are looking like this, but are looking like, hey, this might be the low, right? And if we start trading above here, there might actually be some bullishness. This could be an opportunity to get into some of those coins that hasn't quite pumped yet. I do, like, if I'm not mistaken, this is an older coin, obviously. I don't think Binance shows all the history. Like, I'm pretty sure this is an older coin. Yeah. So this is a 2017 coin. So the problem with these 2017 coins, I'm not saying that they're not going to pump, but look at the fucking market cycle that this thing went on already, and look where we are now, right? We are thousands of percent points away from all-time high, where some of these other coins just got launched this year and are in price discovery already. So what does that mean? I'm not saying that this can't pump, but this has been around since 2017. Does it have any sort of hype? Is there anything happening with the coin? Whereas a lot of these 2020 coins, 2019 coins, the DeFi coins, they actually have news around them, hype around them. There's not a huge market cycle that's already happened, and then there's a shit ton of bag holders who have been holding this coin for 3 years who are going to dump it on any signs of a pump, right? So I think if you're trying to be like, what altcoins should I focus on? Focus on new ones. Old shit can pump, and some of it will pump, but outside of Ethereum and maybe Litecoin, I don't really see a lot of the old coins, lasting. Whereas, there's a new hype cycle. The ICO hype cycle is dead, right? There's a lot of bag holders of this coin who are probably waiting to dump it if they haven't already capitulated. Doesn't mean this thing can't go crazy again, but this has already had a monster alt cycle, right? Whereas you have a new coin that it's already in price discovery, right? And there's less people. This is maybe not the best example. These have been just listed on exchange, right? This thing can have some sort of crazy cycle, right? And there's not a bunch of people who owned it from way up here who are just waiting to sell. And there's news around it. The teams are still active. I mentioned I'm not a FA guy by any means, but that shit does matter, especially when you're talking about the older coins. Like, I don't know why some of them would pump, right? It seems like that's a coin that's going to have a lot of bag holders that's dead. It's so far from all-time high. I don't know, though. Chart looks okay, kind of on the daily. Looks like it might be perking up. Let's check out Atom. Okay. Let's look at the BTC pair first. So, pretty bearish, right? But, putting in a little bit of a low here. Again, very simple stuff I'm doing here. This is not rocket science. This is daily resistance, right? Above here, I think there's a good chance we trade up into here. So I bet you if I look at the USD pair, based on that little uptrend that we're in, this probably looks pretty good. There you go. Looks pretty good. Nice retest of daily support here. Looks like it's going to leg up again. So if this thing makes another leg higher, I would be looking to buy it on this daily retest. I wouldn't buy it right now. I mean, maybe it pushes up from here, but if it makes a new high, I'm looking to rebuy it here. And the BTC pair looks okay, right? BTC pair needs to clear this little guy. I'm not going to spoil the show for people who haven't watched it, but I was tearing up just a little bit after that last episode because it's some bullshit. Whoever wrote this fucking show, fucking really knows how to tug at the heartstrings. It's not okay. All right, YeFi. Let's look at YeFi. Everyone's talking about YeFi. I mean, look at this squiggly that I drew and how perfect it is. I don't even remember drawing this, but we had this little circle here, which is the consolidation that led to the breakout. I said we're going to go up into here, break down, touch here. Perfect. Yeah, so I mean, this looks pretty fucking good. Coming in at kind of the last area of resistance I see before price discovery here. So I think this thing's going to launch soon. It's just a matter of time. And, there's your reason why, right? To me, this is the beginnings of an uptrend. Right? Cleared this resistance here. That was key. So I think dips on this are for buying, and I think dips on the USD pair are for buying as well. Can I take a look at DAI? I know I can't get to all of you guys' comments. There's literally so many here, guys. It's like absolutely mind-blowing. So this looks okay. Right, coming into resistance here. Like this looks like a lot of altcoins. A lot of altcoins are either already trending against Bitcoin or they're looking to get trending, right? So again, same thing, right? If this breaks out, pulls back, now's when you want to start getting long and you want to start looking at the USD pair, right? This thing's gonna fly. Once that Bitcoin pair breaks out of that level, this thing will break out and probably go pretty hard. I have no idea what this thing does though, or what it is. Okay, GERT we've already covered. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm sorry Panda bro, but you were getting like fucking put in timeout. It's ridiculous. Ocean. Alright, let's take a look at Ocean. Thank you, Jail Bob. So Ocean BTC, clearly in a downtrend. All I'm doing, guys, is I'm looking at the chart on the daily. They all look like, a lot of these coins you guys are mentioning, they look like they have a rounded bottom here, right? And then they're retesting, or they're testing daily resistance, right? So all they need to do is break out to fucking fly. So this looks good as well. Right? Again, the problem is you can have this, right? And you can do this, right? So you got to be aware. I'm not saying buy it now. That's why I'm saying wait for the breakout. If it breaks above here, this looks pretty good. And I bet you that the Ocean USD pair probably looks decent, right? Very similar to that last coin that we just looked at. Kind of a tight little range here. But I think if you get a pullback to here, you buy it. Otherwise, I think you're buying above here. Right? I'm just going to do that a little bit cleaner here. Pull back there is a buy. Otherwise, buy above here. And that's confluent with, so either this, right? Or something like that. And that's confluent with, right, this thing breaking out versus the BTC pair, right? Okay. Thank you, DT and Bubbles. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, like this is still like I've been doing these streams since August now, but like the last few streams have really kind of blown up in terms of popularity. I'm not trying to fucking toot my own horn or anything like that. But just like a lot of viewers. I mean, having 300-400 people watching at once is amazing, and I'm super grateful. But the chat just goes absolutely crazy. So it's hard for me to keep up. I'm doing my best to try and keep these informative, and then obviously to answer and chart up as many of the coins as you guys want. Okay, Jack Manders wants to say. Love the streams, man. Thank you. When you play order blocks, where do you tend to place buys and sells? Placing at the bottom, middle, the top of the block impacts my art significantly. So, couple of comments on that, right? So the order block size is going to be relevant to the time frame, right, that you're on, right? So if you're in a daily order block, right, the difference between buying here and buying here is multiple percent points, right? Or, it can be big. So for me, generally, my rule of thumb is I'm buying at the edge. But one thing you can do is this is a daily order block, right? Instead of just putting your order here, what you can do is set an alert here, right? Then zoom in on the lower time frame and look for a lower time frame entry to get in with a tighter risk reward, right? So where's a good example of that? A good example of that would be right here, right? So you have this daily support area here, but this is a big box, right? This is, 4% on its own. But what you can do now is within this daily support, maybe I'm not entering right on here, right? But we get the reaction I want. Maybe I'm entering on this hourly one right here. So we've come into the daily one. We've shown the reaction I want. We made bullish market structure. Now I'm buying here and my risk reward is a lot tighter, right? Or you can go and zoom in and look over here and say, okay, within this daily order block, there's a little hourly order block here or down here, and buy into one of those. So that would be one solution, right? The size of the order block is going to be relative to the time frame. A high time frame order block generally is going to be pretty big. So that is something that you can do. Okay. Yeah, Panda was out of control. I had to put him in timeout. He's a very bad Panda. Is ETH about to break out? I don't think so. Ocean, we did. RSR and Sol. Okay. I had a friend tell me to buy this and I didn't listen. So what I really like here is this. I love this kind of an SR flip. Right? So we traded below. We're now back above. So this looks pretty good to me to go higher. Up into here is where I'd expect. Sorry about that. So this looks pretty good to me. Naturally, this looks good too, right? So again, like I don't know where you buy this on the high time frame here. Maybe if you zoom in, you're buying it in here, right? But this looks like potentially bullish consolidation. Kind of choppy with these wicks. I don't love it, but again, this kind of just looks like a little bit of a triangle, right? This looks like this, and to me, this is going to do this. And based on how the BTC pair looks, right, like how it's doing this nice little SR flip, I think this is going to break out. It's essentially the same setup, right? Right, like this looks pretty good to me too, for another leg up. So RSR I like. I think it looks good. Ocean I did already. Panda is out of control. How can I send you money? What do you mean? I can't trade for you. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not interested in trading for you. I would rather show you some stuff and then have you be able to go in there and make your own decisions. I don't really want to trade for someone else. I like a nice round bottom. I like a nice round bottom as well. I would consider myself a round bottom kind of guy, if you know what I mean. See you later, Joe. Good seeing you, homie. Melvo, can you do a brief ETH analysis? I did ETH at the start of the video, so go watch the start of the video. I did Ethereum. Uni. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. So to me, this looks good. Like this looks like it's about to break out again. So might see a bit of a pullback, right? Like this is a lot of green candles in a row. But this looks pretty good to me to go higher. I think that is now the floor. Like I think this is the floor now, and this pushes higher. So Uni looks pretty good. And And naturally, this is in price discovery, right? So it looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, you can also ladder your orders in. You can put orders at the top of the order block, the middle of the order block. There's lots of different ways you can do it. Yeah, Melville, go watch the start of the video, bro. I did Ethereum for like 20 minutes already. You're welcome, Jack. Soon may the Weller man come. I don't know what that means. That sounds kind of creepy. KNC, please. Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of better looking coins than this one, right? Again, could be rounding off a little bit, but this doesn't look that great yet. You know, I want to see, you know, nice little reaction here on the monthly. Maybe it's rounding a little bit on the daily. Kind of similar to some other coins, right? Want to see it get above here. It kind of is breaking out, but starting to look okay, right? But need to see some sort of bullish PA, right? Right now, I just see this, right? If we do one of these and one of these, okay, now I'm like, this looks really good. I want to start getting involved. Vet, okay, a bunch of people want vet. Right, so monthly came into here, found support, right? Go down to the daily, and we're kind of seeing a little bit of structure form here, right? We've got a low, we've got a high, we've got a higher low, we've got higher high, we've got higher low. So this looks pretty good to me. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this thing push up. You know, this is going to be kind of the key resistance level for me here, but this looks pretty good. So I don't hate this at all, right? So could see a little bit more consolidation, but I think once this thing breaks out of this kind of shape here, I think it should go for a nice little run. Look at the USD pair. Looks like it's consolidating after a breakout, right? Definitely. So here's your SR flip right here, right? And this is very similar to RSR, right? So breakout, retest of support. Now it's forming a little bit of a triangle. Bitcoin pair looks like it's about to break out. This probably breaks out higher. So this looks pretty good too. Kimberly, I already covered EOS. It looks terrible. Sol. This looks great. All right. This looks like a bottom is formed. Here, you know that SR flip I talked about on all those altcoins where I said, okay, it's got a rounded bottom, needs to break here. There's your SR flip, right? So all those ones that are like trading like this, right, where it's rounding off and it's in here, this one's already rounded off and now it's SR flip. So this looks pretty good on the BTC pair to start trending up now, right? Regain this floor as well. So I'm pretty bullish on this one towards here. Sol USD. And this looks pretty good too. I mean, again, a lot of these coins look similar, right? So what you're seeing is a lot of these markets are correlated. The coins all look the fucking same, right? So again, this looks pretty good. Looks like it might even be already breaking out a little bit, but you know, this is kind of some sort of ugly little triangle thing forming here. Above support. The Bitcoin pair looks decent, so this looks okay. I don't hate it. The market structure is not super clean, right? Like I hate stuff that have all these kind of wicks, right? It makes it hard to read, but I don't hate it. Okay. I'm going to start wrapping up here, guys, because it's been almost 2 hours already. Do I use leverage? Yes. How does his box go all the way to the right? So if you go to settings, when you make the box here, right, you go here, You go settings, you just click extend to the right. You can do extend to the left or extend to the right. Main confirm bottom. Oh god. I guess that came. I like butts is what I'm trying to say. Girl butts, not boy butts. Gross. Alright, Panda Fry has put all his money in Cocos coin. So here you go, bro. This wick is gross. I don't like it. Okay. I'd say this is not probably gonna do well unless it reclaims that level there. Cocos coin. Tether. Again, right? If your money has been in here for the entire month of January, you're underperforming the market. It's in a resistance here. Pretty nasty swing failure pattern. It's not the worst looking coin I've seen. But yeah, has some work to do in terms of breaking out to the upside before it gets going. All right. Okay. Thanks, German. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm gonna do BNB. I'm gonna do Neo, and then I'm gonna do ZRX. Okay, and then I'm gonna call it. So BNB. The reason a coin like BNB is good is because it's an exchange coin, right? So there are going to be people using this coin to get advantage of the lower fees and shit. Like the exchange has a vested interest in making sure this coin does well. We ran all of the lows over here, closed back above on the monthly, right? Still not looking amazing, but on the daily, it's starting to curl up. Right, so it's starting to curl up here on the daily, similar to other coins that I've talked about, right? Just breaking through here. So once this thing breaks and closes through here and confirms this, I think this has a lot of runway to come and take out, right? This is a very steep sell-off, so I think it will kind of recover this quite quickly. So I don't hate BNB at all. I think BNB actually looks pretty good. BNB USD is a little bit harder to read. But, I mean, in an uptrend, right, looks pretty good. If this legs up, right, if this goes like this, you want to buy it here for another leg. So this looks pretty good. I already forgot the other coins I said I was going to do. Neo, let's do Neo real quick here. Neo's an old coin, right, so keep that in mind. I mean, fuck how high it was before. It's crazy. So starting to look a little bit bullish here on the USD pair. But the Bitcoin pair, you know, this has some work to do. Doesn't look like it's got much going on yet. I mean, all of these coins look the exact same. Right? There's your daily SR. This one looks like it's broken. It's starting to flip a little bit. So it needs to now see a push, but if this breaks above this high, right, it's going to here. And if it goes to here, the USD pair will do well. So, okay guys, okay, I'll check FTT and then I'm done. Okay, so I don't remember drawing this at all. But again, same reason that a coin like BNB is going to do well, right? This is backed by, you know, the exchange. They have a vested interest in making sure this thing's not a complete piece of shit. So I like how it's broken out here. I think any sort of pullback into here would be a long trigger for higher. So the BTC pair looks good. It's coming into a little bit of resistance right here, right? So that could be the area that pushes it back here. But I think, you know, I think this is a buy if you get it, right? Like if it does something like this, you know, I think either of these situations are a buy. And I mean, this is just going straight up in price discovery. I wish I would have longed this here when I drew out this little breakout pattern, but I didn't, and it's now trading at 3x the price, but alas. Yeah, so this thing's just absolutely mooning. Holy shit. Yeah, like this is probably gonna just continue, and similar to most coins, right? Breakout, pull back, that's where you want to get involved as opposed to longing it from right here. But yeah, this looks good. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think at one point we had like 400 people watching the video, which is crazy. Thank you so much. I'm so appreciative of all of you guys for tuning in, hanging out with me every Sunday. I'll be back again this week, hopefully with another video. I am going cat skiing, so I'm going to be out of town next weekend, so I'll probably be doing my stream either before or when I get back. But really looking forward to getting out of my friggin' apartment, getting out to nature, because I've been just glued to my screen lately. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me on Twitter, tag me and stuff. Join my Discord. The link to my Discord is in the description of my Twitter. It's completely free. I'm in there all the time, so if you have questions, hit me up. It's easier for me to respond to you guys on Discord than it is on Twitter. Again, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Prime for sponsoring this. If you want to help me out, help them out, use the link in the description to join. Yeah, if you got any questions, like I said, hit me up. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I really enjoy doing this. Can't wait to talk to you again. And we will talk to you on Twitter. All right, signing off. Thank you.